Yo, I haven't heard from the view in a minute. I don't know where he at, man. He ain't picking the phone. I think just FaceTime him, bro, because it's almost time, man. Where you at?
What's up, bro? Bro, I'm lit at spring break right now.
Oh, you can't be serious right now, man. You in spring break, bro?
I ain't thinking about no podcast or whatever, bro. It's too turn over here. Yo, I'll be right over there. Turn up.
Do you know who we got today? We got Lloyd Jones of Midnight Comics here to talk about his new comic books and everything he got in being a husband-wife duo in the comic book industry, man. What are you doing?
It's over in my city. Yeah, we lit around here, bro. I ain't even think about that, bro. But hey, shout out to them, bro. Hold it down for me, bro. I know you always hold it down, bro. But let me. I mean, it's too much going on here, bro. You missing out, bro. Oh yeah, that's right, man. You old as hell. I forgot.
You know, all that don't even matter, man. I just want to handle myself, like I always do, man. But, hey, yeah, be easy, bro.
All right, bro. Yeah, whatever, man. Hey, yo, hey, 31 down, man. Hey. You already know what this is, man. Welcome back to the hood, and this is Chill on the Green Box with Specks, Thompson, and the View. And like I said, you normally you'll see the View here, but it's his spring break, man. He's doing spring break. You know how the teenagers is and whatnot, so I let him have it. But Lloyd, man, thanks for coming on anyway.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks, some people who don't know who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Lloyd Jones, one half of Midnight Comics, a company that me and my wife Tashi J started. And basically, yeah, our mission is to basically create comic books that showcase POC, people of color, people that look like us, bring them to the forefront of storytelling, and hopefully one day translate that to inspiring that next generation to create more epic and fantastical stories.
Cool. Great. Well, are you familiar with the green box? Like the what is a green box? Cause most of my guests they don't know. Wait.
Yeah.
You from the same spot I'm from? So yeah, you definitely know.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people they're not from down south. So I've been interviewing and they're not aware. But
They don't know nothing about it.
One guy he knew about it, but he was told as a kid, "No, don't sit on the green box. Don't go in that green box." So, but
I mean, we were told that, but
but see,
we definitely
but see, I can't. One guest he made it to my attention that well, like there was always the bus stop. The bus always stopped right in front of him. So that's why we was sitting on the end.
Really?
I mean, that's how I realized like almost everyone, not everyone, but majority of ones I know about. Like as a kid, there was a bus stop where everybody would sit. Like the bus would pick us up at. Anyway.
See, ours is actually was right in front of the house. Actually, the bus stop was a little further up the street, but ours was just right in front of the house. We just chill out right there after play basketball or something.
But yeah, we go ahead and for people who don't know, here's a green electrical box. It's in front of the house, like he said. And as kids or maybe grown, depending how you get down, we would sit on there and chill and whatnot, hang out with your friends. So that leads into my first segment called Breaking It Down. Because chilling on that green box, you know how to break stuff down with your friends, concepts, ideas, and the stuff going on. So in this segment, I'm going to break Lloyd's brain down into, so y'all understand him better as a person with some icebreaker questions that I came up with. So, are you ready, Lloyd?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, y'all ready? I mean, both of y'all?
Oh, no. She
okay.
No, we're good.
All right. My first question. Should pineapple go on pizza? No.
No.
That was a pretty strong answer. Why you say that?
Throws the whole taste off,
For real?
honestly. Throws the whole thing off. Yeah.
If I'm eating a pizza by myself, I'm putting I've been getting into spinach, so it might be spinach, but it's been pineapple, pepperoni, jalapenos, and maybe spinach.
I think I can get with the spinach, like depending on the type of pizza, right? You get like the little chicken, what is it, the chicken and cheese type pizza. You
See, that's called. See, I used to call on a pizzeria, so that's called Alfredo pizza. Yeah,
So right, in small doses I can mess with that, but the pineapple, no sir.
Okay, now one thing is it canned or fresh pineapples. Then another thing is, are they putting the pineapples while the piece of cooking or afterwards? See, it's all a thing.
Now, right now, I wouldn't
Yeah,
know,
it's
but the one that I had, it
yeah.
wasn't
You
hit.
gotta have a little crisp to it, and the juices don't went inside the cheese and give you a little flavor. You missing out,
Oh,
man. You missing out. But
no, no,
all
no, thank you.
right. I think I had that question before. Let's see. All right. So my next question is, if you had to choose to lose one of your senses, which one would you choose?
Uh, Hearing.
Hearing?
Yeah, I think I can go for that. Not being able to see sucks. I already got a bum left
Oh
ear, so
man.
I'm
Oh
halfway
yeah.
there
So
anyway.
you already in the fight with that already.
Right. So I can deal with that, but not being able to see, ooh, nah.
You
And smell, I gotta keep that too. I can't.
but see the thing is, you say you got a bum left ear. And typically, when you lose one sense, you get one better. But I see you have glasses on, so where's your trade
Right.
off go?
So right. Dang. Yeah. Well, no, nothing got better. Nothing got better. I don't have a better sense. I wish it worked like Daredevil
Yeah,
or
that would
something,
be
right?
great, right?
Give me something decent.
It compensate with something, right? Like,
Right.
my next question. So I'm doing these on the fly because the kids had me messed up. But
Oh, you good?
all right. If you're at trivia night with some friends or family, what would the category you go to the most that you can score the most points on?
Score almost point up. Man, obviously comic book stuff, but man, my wife from in the kitchen just said anything at this. But no, yeah. Matter of fact, I got a whole little Marvel trivia box, full of cards and stuff like that. So that would probably be my go-to.
Okay.
Okay, my wife knows more about Marvel than
Oh,
I
so you
do, but I'm
so
still
she
a
has to be on your
problem.
team. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's
easily,
other way around.
easily. That's overkill, though. I need a challenge, though. That's overkill, though. Both of us on the
Yeah.
team.
That's dope. I don't know what my category be. Like, growing up, me and my mom used to watch like Jeopardy and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and stuff like that. So like, I feel like I'm
Mm.
pretty diverse, but I don't think I'll be like a old girl on off White Man Can't Jump though. Cause
No, he said not.
yeah, she was killing it.
See, dang, I can say I'm pretty diverse as well, but I'm I'm not retaining some of the stuff I used
Oh
to,
yeah.
so I might lose in some of the other things. But that game, what's the name of that game? Taboo,
Oh
man,
yeah.
man. That and have you heard of Buzz? That's what I was.
I
Yeah, have
have
you heard
heard
of
of
that game,
Buzz,
Buzz?
but I haven't seen Buzz in a long time. That's one of the button, right?
Um, yeah, you get the little remote controllers on the PS3. It was on PS2 and PS3. That's the trivia game I was a problem at, for
Now,
sure.
now, back when I used to watch movies and shows all the time, seen it. I can do that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my dad would probably demolish me with that. Honestly, I mean, he's one of those. Oh, he was in. His that the thumb snap, and then it's like, oh, bam, and start listing off all the things somebody's been in and stuff. So yeah, I'd probably get
Yeah.
demolished at that.
All right. Well, that's in that segment. Hopefully everybody got a good feel. How you is and whatnot. And next we're gonna move into the back issues. Being a comic book lover, I mean you know about the back issues, but for people you don't know, if you want to know about a character, if you want to know about the Vision, you will go into his back
Mhm.
issues, find out more about his origin story. So with this segment, we can go into your origin story through your back issues. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
All right. So where are you from and what do you call your hood?
I'm originally from Oahu,
Oh,
Hawaii. I'm a military brat, so we bounced around. But I've been in Georgia the longest. So, yeah. So, down here by the Motor Speedway. So, this is where we've been for
All
a
right.
while.
Have you been there?
Pretty cool.
Have you been there?
For like the fairs and stuff that were there, but not to see
Racing?
any of the like races or anything. No.
Yeah. See,
The missus have, but I haven't. I haven't seen any.
oh yeah. See, I grew up a big NASCAR family, so I never been to a race though.
Really?
I met all kind of drivers and watched all kind of TV, but I never been to a race. But like both sides of the family, they watch NASCAR, and so like it was funny. Like NASCAR wrestling, that was like both sides of the family. It was funny.
How did you grow up with it and still and ain't been doing it
Because
yet?
maybe my mom wasn't into it because I don't remember really. I think she knew about like the drivers. Maybe that's why I met so many drivers because she knew the drivers. But I don't think she didn't really sit in front of that racetrack and get all that rubber and stuff, in her hair and stuff. Yeah,
okay.
because she was a slick, I don't know, like a hood Southern Belle, but she was pretty like, makeup, everything got a match, from the
Okay.
from the
I'm not
undergarments
trying to
to
be
your,
out
your,
there.
your shoe, everything got a match, like, pristine. Like she didn't really like pumping gas. She would go to this gas station we have here just to pay extra so they'll pump her own gas.
Oh wow. Yeah, she wasn't trying to be out there all day.
She cussed my sister out plenty times, putting the purse on the floor, stuff like that. Like can't put a purse on the floor at all.
Put it in the chair.
Yeah. What was your first encounter with music that like that had a
music?
good impression on you and that made you say like, oh, okay, I like this type of stuff?
Oh, Parliament, Funkadelic. My dad used to listen to that all the time, and to this day, I still listen to them. Actually got a chance to go to one of their concerts when I turned 21. It was over a decade ago now. And doggone George Clinton came out and had none of the stuff in his hair and stuff like that, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, that was my first real like, oh, I like that.
That's dope. That's dope. What about comic books? What was your first comic book related TV show or book that intrigued you to read comics or get into it?
So, Batman the Animated Series, I was hooked. Okay. I was 2 when it came out, and man, my dad used to actually record I still got the VHS tapes. He recorded them, commercial breaks and all, just all the way through, because that was my show. So watched that constantly as a little kid, but he always tried to put the Marvel comics for me. He was a big Marvel fan. And so he, Spider-Man, all the usuals and stuff like that. But I was like, nah, I'm a DC guy. So eventually, he started buying me all the DC stuff. So mostly Batman. That was my guy back in the day. Because again, he's a normal guy. So it was just like, oh, I could be, until I grew up.
He's not normal.
He's not really normal. But at the time, it's like, oh, he doesn't have powers. I don't have powers. And he's still out there doing stuff and hanging with the heavy hitters. So I really enjoyed that kind of aspect. And I guess the animated series, he was more kind of down to earth, actually trying to help people and like, converse with people that had actual issues and get them the help that they needed and stuff. So I did like that aspect, but that was my first comic related anything was the animated series. And then from there, my dad was already collecting comic books. So yeah, he just kind of shared it with me at the time. So
see, that's funny because I never got the hey, Batman's a regular guy. I never thought him as being a regular guy. But by you saying that, triggered something for me that I always thought Peter Parker or Spider-Man was a regular guy. And I think I gravitated more with Peter Parker and Spider-Man because I feel like he was a regular guy. Because like, I guess you can relate to it. I mean, I guess he was in school and dealing with so much stuff. I guess that's why I triggered that versus Batman. He going to parties and,
That's
right. got a butler.
I will say, you didn't get this. Well, yeah, the butler piece for sure. But like, they didn't really. I mean, they did show the Playboy aspect of it, but it was almost like a facade. Like he didn't want to. I mean, obviously he didn't. That's not the side of himself that he really wants to focus on. So like trying to there was one episode, I guess with was it the Leslie Tompkins episode? Where it was one of those episodes. Essentially, I liked where again there's people that had issues, mental issues and stuff like that. He tried to help them. I like the Mr. Freeze movie, the Sub-Zero movie, where it's just like, yeah, we're fighting, I'm trying to help you. So it's just like people trying to help people. He doesn't come across as the genius like like we see him in the comics where he just knows everything. And I like that. I mean, he had an answer for everything fighting wise, stuff like that, but it wasn't I'm this super high tech, I got everything I was just like, no, I gotta figure this out. And he was getting tagged up a couple times. He didn't, so it was just like, okay, he's not there. Peter Parker in the animated series was just like, yeah, this guy is insanely. I'm not as smart as this guy.
Yeah.
He's not fumbling intellect wise at all. And so yeah, though for the most part though, Peter Parker is more relatable. Goes to school, has familiar issues and stuff like that. Animated series wise at the time, I was like, okay, I could put on a costume. You know what I mean? Like I could, I don't have any powers, so if I hit somebody hard enough, I'm in there. I saved the day or whatever.
See,
but yeah,
see,
so.
yeah, put on costume. That thing for me was Blank Man. I used to watch like Blake Man to the like tape pop on the thing. Like I used to love the Blake Man. I still like. I was thinking about it the other day. I was thinking about, man, they should make a sequel and have like one of them have a daughter or whatever, and be the daughter like a nerdy daughter or something like that.
The next generation.
Yeah, Blank Girl.
That sounds like a Disney Channel original right there.
Yeah.
Lord of mercy.
All right. Next question. When did you find out that you're a blurred?
I think when we started getting into anime and I guess meeting other people that were really into, comic books and anime and stuff like that. But I think, again, it wasn't until we got into, I guess it was the lunch table at school in high school. We're just like debating Dragon Ball stuff or just debating comic stuff as a whole. Is just like, wow. And it was just nothing but us, just black kids that just really enjoyed the stuff. And it was just like, wow, this is it. This is the community. This is the group. Of course, at the time, I didn't know the word for it, but I knew, okay, we're a bunch of black nerds. This is a safe space. These are the people I want to hang out with. Nice little group of friends, and that's actually where, the table I sat at with my wife, then just, good friend at the time, or huge crush at the time. So, yeah, that's what I found out back in high school, for sure.
See, with me, it's different. Like, growing up, same group of people I hung out with, played basketball with and do all kind of stuff with. I was also saying same group of people that, we watched Digimon and Dragon Ball Z with and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff like that. So when we transitioned out of that, like 8th, 9th grade-ish, playing sports, chasing girls, do all that stuff, oh, did you see the new game came out? Oh yeah, Tenkaichi, yeah, let's play it. Oh, you seen Jet Li, like stuff like that. It was still common with us, but we still wasn't doing stuff. Then we see the people who bring toys to school and ran like Naruto and stuff. It's how I look at them. So I missed that. I'm calling the nerd gap. Apparently, everybody goes through the nerd gap. If some people. So like I never watched Shippuden. I never seen Shippuden.
Really?
But I watched the original Naruto. So when it happened, I was doing other stuff. So I was just catching One Piece because it came on Saturday. Then once from that, I still want to watch it. It was good, so I was watching it on YouTube clips. Same thing with Bleach.
Oh,
yeah, same thing with Bleach. I was catching Bleach, but Naruto, I was like, just it wasn't that hooked because I watched the first show. Then I guess it was a gap between Naruto and Shippuden. So from there. Then all the Gundams, the Gundam Blood Orphans, and all that stuff, never seen it. Just missing.
Now I won't lie. I couldn't keep up with the Gundam series. There's so much to. I think I watched Mobile Suit, the original one. I watched 08, MS Team, G Gundam, and Gundam Wing.
Did you catch SD Gundam, the one that had the mini Gundams?
Briefly, briefly. Now, good friend of mine, Kurt, he absolutely loved that show. I'm like, come on, man, give me more G Gundam. I ain't looking for no SD Gundam. Yeah. But no, you brought up One Piece. We tried getting into that. I just couldn't.
See, only thing that saved me One Piece. Now I'm totally out of it. But one thing that saved me, them games kept coming out, so it helped me like refresh. But like,
okay,
so
to watch from fresh up until now, it's just like, man, Mm-mm.
So basically, the guy with the bones, I can't think of his name right now. Like I never seen him come in. I like,
The guy with the bone. I don't even know who. Oh, the guy on their team with the
yeah.
bones. Yeah. No, yeah. Yes, I know who you're talking about. No, I didn't get that far either. We got to Alabaster, and that
Four.
was
He's
it.
still 4 kids.
Yeah, that's yeah. And we try again. We tried like 5 different times. With the most recent being last year. We're just like, you know what? Screw it. We were just going to watch this. Everybody keeps saying, just get to Alabaster. We watched it all the way through. It was like, okay, that was all right. And we started watching the next episodes. And we were just like, I can't do this for a couple hundred more episodes. I can't do this. I'm done. I'm done. We tried. We honestly tried. It's just not for us.
Yeah, my fiance, she's trying to get into anime. Like I told her about Momo Fest, so she's trying to get a costume for Momo Fest to wear and stuff like that. But like, what's funny, she really fell in love with. Well, she Hunter x Hunter intrigued her interest, but she really fell in love with Death Note. But she fell in love with the live action version of it.
No. So now she didn't see the original first though.
I try to put her on it, but she wasn't with it. She was like she couldn't sit through it. But I guess because the live action more fast paced, that's why it was cool to her. But I'm trying to get into it because she's trying to be more into it.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, so we gonna see how she do MomoCon because we went to Fandemic and she liked it. That was my first con as well.
Oh.
So now we're going to one South Carolina one tomorrow. Yeah, this weekend, and I can then gear up for MomoCon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an experience, man.
Yeah.
There's conventions and stuff. Definitely want to go to more. We haven't been to. I mean, we've been to a couple, but I definitely want to travel more and see some of these other ones because I've never been to like Dragon Con before.
Well, see, I just applied for Dragon Con, so hopefully they accept my application.
Man, I just got mine back. They said,
for real.
That's all right. That's all right. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
But yeah, that's the end of that segment. That was part of your back issues. You know, hopefully people got a feel from where you came from. You know, and learn a little bit about you. Now we can move into your hotkeys. Also being in comic books, you know what hotkeys issue is. For people who don't know, is key issues that you know characters would be first appearances or new writers or certain events would happen that it make into a movie or animated. You know, that'd be the hotkeys. You know, you want to collect and get them slapped, or in return, artists or writer join the project first time they being on there and it become a hit. You want to get those keyed up, but or in music wise, DJs they got hotkeys on their turntables, which if somebody listening to if it's 12:45, you'll play Young Jeezy Lose My Mind. You know, you got it queued up and you press on the hotkeys, or a certain song you want to hit at a certain moment. You might see somebody, I don't know, with something like some Air Force Ones hitting in the club, and you want to press that song ready to go and play it, and then everybody get live. So in this segment, this is a formulated between questions that Ivan came up with and we talked about earlier, so people know more about you and they can take away from stuff that you actually do, and they can take it with you from this interview. So you ready?
What?
Yeah. All right. So first question. So how is it being in a husband and wife partnership making comics?
It's fun. We get to really just sit down, kind of bounce ideas off of each other and stuff like that, and just kind of hear each other's perspectives and stuff. We got very different ways of, I guess, we have our own ways of kind of writing and being creative and what have you, and so being able to hear those just different perspectives, I think, is fun. And then even if there's something that we disagree on, it actually ends up being a different character altogether or a different story or something. So I think that's the fun part, just being able to constantly just, I have an idea. I know I get on her nerve though. Get on her nerve because there's one story in particular. I was at like 11 o'clock at night. We're winding down for bed, and I'm just like, I got it. And I give her like a whole synopsis of the next 10 chapters of a random story, and she's just like, okay. That's good, but, and then we just kind of have our back and forth. It ends up being a whole 2-hour affair, but yeah, that's my favorite part, being able to actually voice and talk about and create together at random moments and stuff. So,
who started? Like, who brought ideas? Like, hey, we should start making comics.
I think this was a mutual thing, really. We went from talking about or seeing, watching all these television shows, Naruto specifically, Shippuden, and going from that ending, and we was just like, nah, and we just kept doing these what ifs and talk about how we would have done these things better and so on and so forth. And actually, you know what? I say it was a mutual thing, but I think my wife brought it up, like, all right, well, let's actually do something about it. Let's actually do something. And so I would probably say that she was the one that said, let's make a company out of this. Let's actually do it. And then we kind of just pursued it. So yeah, we love doing what ifs and coming up with random scenarios and stuff like that. That again, that ending to Shippuden, spoilers for however long it's been out. But come on, there's no way they've been fighting for days, eventually fight Obito, then Madara, then Kaguya, then each. They're all stuck. They're connected to the tree right now. They're all in a dream. Everybody got what they want. Madara won the end.
Hey, my theory is it always. I don't know the name of the word, but Itachi did the Genjutsu, whatever it is.
Oh,
Since the beginning when him and Sasuke was in the village, and it's been a whole dream ever since. The whole show was a dream from Sasuke.
the real series is actually Sasuke, not Naruto.
Real main character, yeah.
Lord of mercy.
What was the first title that y'all developed, or type of story y'all started developing?
Honestly, I think the first one. So we were working on different stories at the same time. The first one for Taj, she's been working on Admani. And then I was working on, so I had 2 stories that I've been working on off and on since high school and a little after, which ended up being The Last Day and Dogma. But those actually just came out. The first story that I worked on that we actually kind of published was our manga, The Unbeloved. So I guess it's multiple answers, but Admani, Last Day and Dogma were the first 3 stories of ours, because that was the main roster initially, was those and The Unbeloved. Those 4 stories were our initial. This is Midnight Comics. The superhero characters didn't come until a couple months later after we started. So
all right, and let me see. You sent me some pictures. Did you send me pictures of the manga? No, let me see.
I don't think I did.
All right, that's cool. So that was my next question though. I say, since y'all left off, with a sour taste in y'all mouth from the Naruto ending, did y'all make a manga? And you answered my question, and yes, y'all did go into a manga.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the same thing. I'm flip flopping between 2. But why are y'all flip flopping between mangas and comics?
Just we love both. We love both comics and manga, and just wanted to, The Unbeloved wouldn't feel or fit the comic style at all, so it was like it didn't make sense to try to force that, right? And so, yeah, because we love comic books and manga, we figured let's just make both 2 different storytelling avenues, I guess, and yeah, just the love for both. I could ramble on about it, but yeah.
If I go to one of your things, so since y'all both are writers, and I assume that neither one of y'all are the artists, how hard is for y'all to find artists, since y'all are going flip flop between manga and regular comics? How hard is it to find an artist?
So, with the manga, it wasn't too difficult. We found a gentleman on Fiverr. And he has spoiled us. He has spoiled us. And so, we were getting the work for the manga done. We couldn't quite find anybody at the time for the comic at the time. And I think that it was hard because we just didn't know, where to really look, right? I mean, we could see on Instagram, right? I was like, DeviantArt, where am I looking? You know, so I think just that initial avenue of trying to find that right person on social media was that was just tough in general. But now that we've been in this space a while, it hasn't been too difficult to find artists. Lucky for us, we Concrete Comics, we talked to them for a little bit in the early days. Well, we still talk to them, but in the early days when we were asking for advice, he pointed us, Alonzo specifically pointed us in the direction of some of the some artists that they've used or what have you, and so we reached out to those artists and we started working with them, and that's the artist Serge DeLima that you see in Tales from Midnight issue 1, and he really fell in love with the Soul storyline, and so now he's just the artist for Soul, and so as we're slowly meeting more artists now, artists are sending us their stuff and like, hey, we'd love to send us your stuff, let us know what you think, maybe we can work on something for you. And so because of that, it's become a lot easier to, obviously find artists and pick some artists for some of the stories that we have getting worked on right now. But yeah, it was just difficult the early days because we weren't really heavy in the space as we are now. Just trying to get acclimated to who's an artist, what groups to join, and all of that. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad now.
How was it? How was it finding artists to draw the right representation of Black people in your books?
Oh man, that was difficult. That was difficult. So we would do like test pages or pinups. We would see their artwork on IG or Facebook or what have you like that, and then it's just like, all right, hey, I would love to pay you to do this pinup here in hopes that potentially you could actually do the actual interior line art, right? And then we would get some stuff back, and it's just like, that's not how it works. No, that's not what we're looking for. It was just a lot of trial and error, I think. Like women's hair. Oh my God, yeah. But yeah, so it was just a lot of trial and error. Again, just kind of really extensively searching through social media, through Fiverr, of course spent a couple dollars just to be like, okay, well, I like your art style, but I haven't really seen you draw us, right? And so, just going through the social media, just kind of treading through all the artist groups and stuff like that just to find the right one. And I think that's the most, I don't think it's the most difficult. No, it is pretty difficult. It is pretty difficult. That's why when we finally find somebody, we try to hold on to the best of our ability. But yeah, just time and money, really.
Yeah, I have had to find like this certain kind of brushes for my artists doing the manga for the women's hair. Like I just seen the IG somebody created like 5 different brushes to make braids and kinky hair and all that stuff. I said, hey man, download this, man. I don't care. Like use this. Like your hand drawn hair is not getting where we need to be at, man. Use brushes. Just work out, and it turned out a whole lot better, and it caused him getting more gigs that way too. Yeah,
really. See, and you know what? I love the symbiotic relationship between writer and artist, right? Because you sent that to him, right? And so now he's doing better. Now he has a better understanding. Now people are really noticing his artwork and stuff like that. And I love, and me and Tosh was talking about this before, writing and the artist falling in love with the story or knowing some of the lore of the story that you're pulling from. That it's amazing when you find that right fit and when the artist is so receptive to what you have going on. So yeah.
Yeah, I had to get a new artist for Legacy of You. I've been talking about it for a year now, but I finally got an artist. Pretty good guy.
Okay.
He was so involved in the book that he wanted to go back to issue 1 and read up, and so everything's be all same continuity. Which during a interview with another creator, an editor would have been a great person who really would do that. So he's putting another element that I didn't know about in my books. Especially I was already doing it. Like, hey, View has to have a different shirt on each issue. He don't need to wear the same clothes. But it was a thing about I forgot what it was. It was a scene. It was a scene from the 3rd issue, and he was doing a 4th. but it was different, and he caught that, so he changed it. I don't know what it was. Yeah, but
See,
but,
I
yeah,
love
but
it
he
though.
caught
He's
he
invested.
caught
He's
it, so
seen it.
now it's sticking all the way across. But he seen the issue, and I was like, yeah, man, it was like the end of the book, and the guy was dragging the feet. And I said, man, just run with it. It's
Just
that
yeah, it's like I don't want to wait another couple
yeah.
months
So
to
that's why
get
the issue was in the
to get
third
it
book. That's
going.
why the issue was there. Like one big issue. Uh, some people read it and be like, how did Chaz know that the guy was there? Because in the panel,
Mhm.
he made the villain like that small in the background, and that's how you'll tell.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was pretty wild. But he noticed that,
See.
and I was like, yeah, man. And he was like, wait, like I guess it was like an afterthought, putting the villain in the background. That's what artists did. So I was like, whatever, let's get it done.
See. There it is. They're few and far in between, but they're out
Mm.
there. They're definitely out there.
And with y'all being anime lovers, how'd y'all feel about representation in anime wise? You know, of us being in there or not being there.
Yeah, we're not. It's for forever and a day. We're non-existent in a lot of anime and manga, except for well, at the time of when we were writing and all this, taking notice of this rather. There was a lot of derogatory iteration of us, right? So yeah, we definitely wanted to make something that had more people of color and stuff like that in there. Now, the Unbeloved does still focus on people of Asian descent, but of course, there's different skin tones and different people that were of darker skin from those islands, right? So one of the characters, Izanagi, he's got more of the features of the Anu people that lived on the islands of Japan, right? And so really just showcasing again other people of color. There's more features. There's more than just the standard look, right? Um, and so yeah, I was gonna go into something else that we haven't technically announced yet, so I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, so trying to get more representation in those spaces is something that we're definitely moving forward and looking to do. Just like with obviously our main comic book characters or traditional comic book characters, I should say. So.
All right. Now, how's your priority wise? Like, why you making comics? Like, what do you prioritize? What do you prioritize more or less in making comics? Like, I guess in like art work and marketing in general, and return and family the same way. Like, how do you prioritize your time and what's your main focus?
Um, all day. Like if we're not doing, well, I can't even lie. A lot of the time I'm on my phone doing research, over whichever story is I'm obsessing over at that moment. Because we're working, goodness gracious, we're working on like 10 stories at the same time. And one way that we kind of just avoid getting writer's block on all of them or what have you, or staying unproductive on all of them, is just like, oh, today I'm working on Soul. Okay, that's Egyptian stuff. All right, yep. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, I need to add that. Da, 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 and then just spend the whole day when we're not, hanging out with the kids or out and about, jotting down everything that we've been obsessed over and researching and thinking about all day. Jot it all down, even if it's a jumbled mess and stuff like that. So it helps to not get what's the word? It helps the workflow not feel as congested. If that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. So I think just making sure you know what you're talking about, I think, is the most important thing because we're pulling from, again, actual people, lores and stuff like that. Izanagi and Izanami, that's Shinto lore, right? So how can I retell a story, utilize these characters, and be respectful at the same time, right? And so just learning more about different cultures and stuff like that, I think, is what my priority has been. Um, and then, of course, translating that to the actual story that we want to tell as well, and how that would affect. I think, again, talking about Soul, we have the Egyptian deities and all of that, but if we actually saw Anubis, what is the reaction of us in real life? Like, we look up in the sky, we see him, like, how do we translate that? So doing research on people that have gone through these extraordinary events or what have you, right? They saw something that, they couldn't believe with their eyes and all this other stuff. So trying to translate that, bring the actual lore of various deities and stuff like that to the forefront. So research. That's the short answer. Research, I think I prioritize, and then bring writing and all of that other stuff into them.
All right, since you brought up Soul, I have it on screen right now. You get into it. What is it about exactly?
Basically, what you see, the character's name is Soul Jackson. He has two Egyptian deities inside of him. Neither one is on behind him there. But Amon and Ra are the two deities that's inside of him. They actually fused together to create Amon Ra, and they were trying to fight against an entity known as Isfet, the embodiment of chaos. Unfortunately, even though they were fused, they were losing that fight, and so they decided to find a host to put their essence and energy into, and they saw Soul's mom, and they dove into her, but they didn't realize she was pregnant. And so what ends up happening is the mind of Amon Ra goes to Soul's mom, whereas the powers went to Soul. And so we dive into, especially in issue 2, how that affected his mom, how that obviously we see how it affects him. He got these powers and abilities and whatnot. And basically we get to see, we see Anubis down there on the bottom right and Isfet on the top left, how that's going to affect that battle and what they're going to do in response. So it's gonna be interesting. I think you guys are gonna like it because again, Soul doesn't know how to utilize a lot of these abilities. He right. He doesn't have the mind of it, right? So it's trial and error on what he can and can't do. So yeah, I won't dive too much deeper into that.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah,
sound
that's
dope. Sound
essentially it.
dope. Sound like the
Thank
same
you.
issue. Ooh, when with I happened to ooh.
Yep. Now imagine, right? Exactly. Now imagine if Goku and them ain't, Goku ain't trained him and all this other stuff. It's just who he's got powers. Now
Yeah.
what? Oh, I'm stronger than everybody I know.
Yeah.
Just throwing your weight around, but like, what can you do? What do you do? And how do you start really learning about who you are, right? So, yeah.
And I guess he's Egyptian.
He's not actually. His parents are
Mm-hmm.
archaeologists, and they were there doing a dig and researching and
Oh,
stuff.
it's modern. It's
And
in modern time.
that's when. Yeah. So he is an '80s baby. So yeah, it's fairly modern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next one I have the Gray.
Yeah, that is my favorite character right there. Her name is Shamika Day. She's a physicist, and she has managed to create miniature particle accelerators that, when powered on, actually create black holes. So she's hoping, with this tech we can create, clean energy sources, all this good stuff. But we have new technology. Let's weaponize it. That's what's fun, right? That's what everybody wants to do, right? And so what she has to do, what she decides to do, is she needs to stop her old company, the organization that's trying to weaponize her technology. By, funny enough, weaponizing her own technology to stop them. So she's like, I'm going to become a superhero called the Gray, which that's a way to measure units of radiation, right? And so So anyway, so one of the things that is going to be a problem for her is she didn't think the logistics out about being a superhero. She can't fight. So is she going to be able to stop this organization from weaponizing her tech and accidentally destroying the solar system? We're messing with black holes at this point. So yeah, you got a doomed solar system if you're not careful. So that's where that story's gonna go. That's where the story has the potential to go.
Okay. I like. Yeah, you got some great summaries of these things. So yeah, it got me intrigued.
Thank you.
In this one, the Tales from Midnight.
Yes. So Tales from Midnight. So that's our anthology series. So this is issue 2. The first one we introduced Soul Gray, Blue Morpho, and Admani. This one, starting from the top, was our Raven's Omen story. The two ladies, you got Reyna and Kaya, they're from our Dogma story, and the gentleman in the middle with the circular blade is Iabani from the Last Day story.
Oh.
And so, to briefly go over those stories, Dogma is about two demon hunters that make it to the city they were supposed to be saving a little bit too late, and what is waiting for them is the demon known as Legion. So, will they be able to stop them, or will they face the same fate as the city and find themselves in ruin? Then we have The Last Day. Again, that's the guy in the middle, Iabani with the circular blade. He just wanted to go to the corner store, grab some snacks so he can study for finals. He's a college student, obviously, and so basically, horrible set of events take place, and we get to find out whether or not Iabani will survive the last day, or his last day, rather. And then Raven's Omen is, story about that is, A bunch of people's bodies start turning up dead all over the city, and the only thing that they have in common is that their hearts are missing.
Oh,
So what's causing it, and what can stop the Raven's Omen? So that's what that's about.
yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
It's-
How have you been putting out all these projects? Has it just out of
Um,
pocket, or has it been crowdfunded?
so Tales from Midnight issue 2 and the Unbeloved issue or chapter 2 we did the crowdfunding for. Prior to that, everything was, I mean, yeah, all of them have been out of pocket, really. But those were the only 2 that we actually did crowdfunding events for. Tales from Midnight issue 1, we actually just did a pre-order event via our website, and then the other 2 we just released. We just released. It was just like, all right, we make comics now, guys. What's up? Come on, buy our stuff. So yeah, this was those last 2 books are the first attempts at crowdfunding, which obviously were successful. And so that's why we feel a little bit more confident doing crowdfunding now and moving forward with Soul and eventually the Gray.
So how's the reception besides y'all passing your goal on Kickstarters or whatnot? But how's the reception of people like actually, I guess, buying and reading the comic or?
Oh yeah, people are loving these stories. Now we haven't done the poll yet to find out what everybody's favorite for sure story is. But I could speak to Tales from Midnight, the first one. We did a poll and like quite a few people were just like, love this story because this, and this. Soul and the Gray are our favorite characters. And so as part of that poll, we were like, hey, who gets there? Solo runs first. And people were very receptive. People gave us some really good feedback and let us know, like, yep, these are the stories we want to see now. This is what we want the continuation for now. So yeah, everybody's been pretty receptive about what they like. I think I've heard the most. I think Raven's Omen and Dogma are going to be the top 2 in this book. Everybody's like, I need more with the Raven's Omen. Everybody's like, I need more because it's so mysterious how we wrote it. It was just we left kind of a lot of mystery in regards to what exactly this entity is, what is it after, so on and so forth. So we've definitely gotten a lot of feedback and praise, if you would, for that story, and then of course followed closely.
Yeah, cool. That's dope, man. So what's your flagship?
This was definitely a recent conversation. I want the flagship to be the Gray, but honestly, it's gonna be Soul.
Okay.
I think. I definitely think it's gonna be Soul.
I think Soul is what I've seen more y'all promote or talked about.
Yeah. Well, that's and I think that's because of the that's a recent as of the end of last year, beginning of this year, because of just kind of the we was listening to the people, right? We just kind of listening to that feedback, listening to what people were seeing, and they're just like, oh, that's the guy. Is he like the leader of the team? Is he like this, and this? It's just like, dang, that's what everybody sees. Everybody sees this is the guy. So again, I would love it for it to be the Gray, but I think it does. I think Soul is going to be, or rather, is the flagship of our universes.
So have y'all been to cons yet? Like with a booth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So we our first convention was we went to Atlanta Comic Con back in 2021. Yeah, we went to Atlanta Comic Con. At the time, we only really had the manga, which I mean that was okay. But no, we sold out of everything at that convention. It was just like, whoa, people really mess with us. Okay. Then the next convention we went to was DreamCon, which was last year. And that we sold out there again too. And we had the comic with us, and we actually showcased Dogma there as its own issue instead of a part of Tales from Midnight 2, since that was still getting worked on. But we tried to get some feedback in regards to that story, and people that's some of the feedback that we talked about a second ago, where it's just like, okay, people mess with this story. One guy was like, the only thing I was mad about is that it ended. I was like, okay. So there was like artwork was good, writing was good, all that was good. It's like, okay. So we're on the right track. So yeah, so we've been to those 2 conventions. We've been to several pop-up shops around the area, and several community events, like the school system and so on and so forth. But this year we're definitely going to go to more conventions. We'll be we're going to HNIC Con. I'm supposed to go to Brooklyn Comic Con We're going back to DreamCon. Ranger Stop and Pop down here in Georgia.
Y'all have a booth for Ranger Stop?
I'll be buying one, yeah, here in the next couple.
See, I was thinking, well, I'm headed to. I'm a Power Ranger fan. Like, where's my poster?
Okay.
Like, I got this done before he died. Let me see, can I find it? I probably got it hidden so my kids don't mess with it. There you go. I got this done. This is a 1-of-1.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep. He even he even posted on his IG and all. He really loved it. And like, I was gonna get him to do like, let me use the likeness in the book and get him do some promo video for me, but he died. Like, I was like, dang.
Yeah.
But Jason, well, Austin, whatever you want to call him, Jason is his character name, Austin is his real name. He's gonna be in South Carolina this weekend, so I may try to get him because he hasn't been in anything since his fraud stuff.
Yeah. The PPP loans was lighting everybody.
Yeah, man. So I'm Power Ranger fan. So like, I want to see Jason this weekend. I'm thinking about getting some made for him, but I don't know, budget kind of get me there because these hotels and paying money for the con. Like, man, I should just get me a booth, but whatever. But I want to see Billy Cranston. I mean, the guy who plays Billy in Ranger Stop, and I want to see I don't know if I want to see Johnny Young Bosch or the guy who plays Zach. I don't know which one. Cause you can pay to see both of them, but
you can pay to see.
But I'm like, man, I don't know. Like,
he's like, I'm debating.
Yeah. But I think about Ranger Stop though. It seemed like a big thing, but like I said, my first con was Pandemic, and same thing we're going for this one coming up. I'm peeping the scene out, see what people gravitate to. Because I felt the vibe that people weren't gravitating toward any comics, but I think it's just because if you didn't look like you're professional, it wasn't going to you. Like Godhood, he was there, and he had all his stuff like everywhere, and he looked like he's a big deal.
Yeah.
Versus, the Scarlet Ranger guy, he's still Roland. Yeah, he was there. He has one issue. So he has small table. I think he had one banner or something. He's still selling, but the razzle dazzle and everything didn't look as good.
Right. The flair wasn't
So like I'm thinking if I do a booth, I'm definitely going to have some anime stuff on the table to get the reel them in there. Right. But definitely, I'm going to have me a banner and backdropping, and I might get somebody to. I don't know how it works. I don't know if I get my fiance into it and make her actually sell some books, and I can dress as the view, or get hire somebody else to be the view, and I sell that way. But hopefully, I can get her in the ball game to sell some books while I'm dressed as the view.
That'd be sharp.
Yeah, but
listen, let me know if you end up going, man.
I'm definitely gonna Ranger Stop, but the booth wise, I don't know. Not know yet. I think Ranger Stop's in June or July.
June.
Yeah. See.
June 23rd. No, I'm getting that date confused. I think it's early June actually.
No, okay, because like.
I think it's early June.
Cause we have a local event for like Juneteenth that I'm gonna do and some other stuff. So I was like, I don't want to like super stress myself out. All these cons back to back.
A lot of cons back to back. Yeah, Ranger Stop and Pop. Yeah, it's June 16th.
No, that's Juneteenth.
June 16th through. Right.
So yeah, I definitely. Oh man. So yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like yeah, it's gonna be a busy week.
Yeah. But that's all I got from the questions wise. Now we go to the next segment. Last segment of the show. Digging the crates. This is I might do a 2-part question for you. But typically, this is like the Nobel Prize question. Once you get your award, you just what you say, and people take away from your whole thing. So like term wise, digging the crates, being a music lover, people dig in the crates to find the CDs or the vinyls, what they really love, or in your case, you find the Marvel books, you grew up with, you want to find them in the crates for comic books. So double meaning because you both digging in crates for the stuff you love, music or comics. So right now, just digging in crates, I guess digging in your thoughts for your answer for this one. But
Okay.
if one of your books had to be picked up, and I guess they just use your source material.
Mhm.
So it got picked up. I don't know. Would the studio pick it up? Let's say it got picked up. I don't want to say who picked it up. Some big name that you're really a fan of pick it up. Who would you have as the director or write the TV show or movie for one of your projects? Or in which one would it be? Which project?
So there was an idea. No, there was a we talked to somebody at DreamCon about this actually, and they actually worked with Jordan Peele.
Okay.
And I think the story that would fit for something with them would have been Admani. I think would have been perfect because of the issues that she's dealing with in the course of her story. She's dealing with mental illness and, of course, her powers. She has fire abilities and stuff, but she's terrified of them, right? So, like, imagine like a whole almost suspense horror type movie of her learning her powers. And, of course, there's still villains in her story, right? But it's like, will she jump into action and help save the day, or is she going to be consumed by her fear of her abilities and powers and stuff like that? I think would be amazing. I would love to see how they would be able to convey that. So yeah, so that would be the one.
Okay.
That'd be the one for sure.
Would it be animated or live action?
I would. Oh, that would be live action. I think that would be live action for sure.
And what is like when you say live action? Would it be like the Mandalorian live action, or it'd be like CW?
Oh, Mandalorian. We're not doing CW. Nah, bless it. No. not to the Crisis on Infinite Earth thing was pretty cool. That was pretty good. But the rest of it,
Yeah, my favorite live action. I love Black Lightning. Black
Lightning.
Black Lightning just triggers something for me. Like if I ever like get a deal, I'd be like, hey man, who I go in the show notes. I go in the show notes like who's in Black Lightning. Let me get them the right, because it was so big of a deal to me that I didn't care for Black Lightning. I was like Black Vulcan and Black Lightning. Who cares, But the show made me like him as a character and like the show because I could tell they was black and they did black stuff. Yeah. Like the scene I got a lot of my coworkers, well, ex-coworkers, I don't work there no more, into the show was a hotel scene when he went to go save his daughter from the hotel. And he actually was like killing these guys, like definitely killed them guys. He definitely killed them.
He said it was no question about it. It's going down
like,
right now.
Yeah, like he's like a real a superhero that makes sense. I hated Luke Cage. I hated Luke Cage show. Luke Cage show was terrible.
Really?
I hated it. It didn't make sense. I mean, it made sense, but like, okay, I got to sit at the barbershop and he's gonna fight some guy that's shooting missiles at him. He escaped from Savannah and made it all in New York. It just didn't make sense. But a guy that been through some stuff, did a little superhero work, quit, did the Olympics, went to school, became a principal, help out the community. Now he's forced to put the suit back on and help the community out.
Right.
Then his family gets so involved in it on like 4 different levels. Like his wife versus his kids.
The internal conflict, the actual real internal conflict.
Yeah.
How that kind of exudes out into the community. Yeah.
It was like, I like the Flash, but I guess it resonated with me more. I don't think because it resonated because he was black though, but I really felt for the characters. Like I really was hurt when they replaced his daughter. Cause I knew her from, it was a show back in the day called Lincoln Heights. Was she on Lincoln Heights? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was on Lincoln Heights. Was she?
Okay. I don't remember.
I don't know, but I knew the youngest daughter from a different show. So to see her in this show, I was like, oh, she done grew up. Then I was like, they replaced her, and I was like, oh man, I don't really care about the character no more. Then the show died.
You put that connection.
Then the show just died. Like, I'm like, man, the show bomb. But yeah, man, I don't know. Netflix live action was good too, like The Punisher and Daredevil.
Oh
yeah.
There's a show on Netflix I never finished. That Jupiter's Legacy. It seemed like it was.
I mean, I tried to get into it, but I didn't care. Just like Sandman, I didn't care. Like I fell asleep on that. But everyone's it's so good and great. Snorville. It put me to sleep. He did his job. He's Sandman. He put me to sleep.
Oh man. Oh, you actually? I thought you were. Initially, I was like, "Oh, you were just sleeping on it. You haven't watched it yet. You literally were watching it and fell asleep."
Yeah, good sleep, good grueling sleep, no pillow soaking wet, good sleep.
Nah, we haven't gotten to it yet. Honestly, we just haven't gotten to it yet. So maybe one day soon we'll carve some time out and check it out.
Okay. That's all I got, man. This is the show. Show Green Box. We had a good time. Like I said, I try to make my show different from the other shows, where people just go in there and blab an hour about, their Kickstarter. So hopefully people learn more about you, and I guess a little bit of your wife too, and want to support y'all on everything y'all do. And
thank you.
For the folks who want to support y'all, where they can find your books or follow you on social media through your journey.
Yeah, so we have a website, midnightcomics.org, which will lead to just about everything else. But if nothing else, you can definitely check us out at Midnight X Comics on Instagram, and that too will link you everywhere. So, yeah.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for coming on, man, and stay on. So while they boots up and everything, and we're out.
While the views on that party and spring break, man, I had a hell of a showdown again, but y'all make sure y'all check out Lloyd and his wife at Midnight Comics and all their books I got out, and support them because they're doing great things and whatnot. And if you want to be on the show too, hit us up at Chill on the Green Box on all social media. And you want to check out the Views books, even though he can never come to the show, check out LegacyView.com and follow him at Legacy the View. If you want to follow me and all my stuff, it's Specks 706, and we're out.